Stop. Do not scroll. Do not move. For the next few moments, forget everything you think you know about money, value, and history, because what you are about to hear is not comfortable, not logical, and not easy to accept. A single coin, cold and silent, created more than 100 years ago, has crossed a boundary no ordinary object should ever cross. This coin is worth millions of dollars. Not someday, not potentially. Millions of dollars today. This is the story of the South African 1920 5 Rand coin, and once you hear the truth, you will never look at old money the same way again. Pause and let that sink in. 5 Rand. A name that sounds small, weak, forgettable. Yet this exact coin has shocked auction houses, terrified collectors, and embarrassed experts who once ignored it. A piece of silver, small enough to disappear in your hand, now commands millions of dollars. This is not exaggeration. This is documented reality, and its origin lies in fear, power, and silence. In 1920, South Africa was not at peace. The Anglo-Boer War had officially ended years earlier, but its wounds were still open. Farms were destroyed, communities were broken, and resentment filled the air. British authority controlled the land, while Afrikaner resistance waited quietly beneath the surface. The Union of South Africa was young, unstable, and desperate to assert control. In times like these, symbols become dangerous, and money becomes a weapon. Coins were not just currency, they were messages. They told people who ruled them, who owned their future, and who held power. Every portrait, every symbol, every metal choice mattered. It was in this tense atmosphere that the 5 Rand coin was created. Not loudly, not publicly, but quietly, almost secretly, without warning of what it would become. The idea of a 5 Rand silver coin made little sense for everyday use. It was too valuable, too impractical, too strange for normal circulation. This was not money for markets. This was something else. Many experts believe it was struck as a trial piece, a ceremonial issue, or a political symbol never meant for public hands. Official records from this period are incomplete, missing, and unsettlingly vague. What is known is chilling. Almost none were made. Estimates suggest fewer than 20 coins were struck. Some believe the number may be even lower. Think about that slowly. Fewer than 20 coins in the entire world. Each missing example pushes the remaining ones deeper into the territory of millions of dollars. The design itself hides its power. On one side appears King George V, calm and commanding, representing British imperial control. On the other side stands the springbok antelope, alert and proud, a symbol that would later define South African identity. There is no warning engraved on the coin, no sign that it would ever be worth millions of dollars. That silence is what makes it frightening. Over time, many of these coins disappeared. Some were locked away in private collections. Some were lost through inheritance. Some were destroyed by people who never understood what they were holding. Imagine that moment. A coin now worth millions of dollars melted down, spent, or forgotten forever. That mistake has already happened, and it can never be undone. When a genuine 1920 5 Rand coin appears today, panic follows. Auction houses restrict information, collectors move quietly, investors prepare without speaking, prices climb rapidly, often beyond public records. Confirmed valuations have reached millions of dollars, placing this coin among the most valuable silver coins in existence. Millions of dollars for a coin that once represented 5 Rand. Millions of dollars for an object smaller than your palm. Millions of dollars because history has sealed its supply forever. No mint can recreate it. No government can authorize it again. What exists now is all that will ever exist. Collectors are not buying silver. They are buying absence. They are paying millions of dollars for something no one else can have. Rarity like this does not grow slowly. It explodes. Condition determines destiny. A sharp strike, original luster, and untouched surfaces can multiply value instantly. Experts examine these coins under microscopes, studying details invisible to the human eye. Authentication is brutal. One mistake can cost millions of dollars. Genuine examples are insured, hidden, and guarded like forbidden artifacts. What truly unsettles people is proximity. Coins live in homes. Coins are inherited. Coins are ignored. The idea that this object once passed casually through human hands and is now worth millions of dollars creates fear. History hides its traps in plain sight. This coin carries emotional weight. It represents control, resistance, uncertainty, and transformation. It survived war, political change, and time itself. Holding it is like holding frozen tension pressed into silver. Africa is often ignored in discussions of legendary coins, and that ignorance makes this story more shocking. The South African 1920 5 rand stands beside the rarest coins on earth, valued in millions of dollars, demanding global respect. As years pass, pressure increases, wealth grows, collectors multiply, supply remains frozen. The next appearance of this coin will be louder, more expensive, and more frightening than the last. Millions of dollars will move silently. There is tragedy here. Coins destroyed, coins lost, coins forgotten. Each disappearance pushes surviving examples deeper into millions of dollars territory. The lesson is brutal. Value does not announce itself. It waits, it hides, it punishes ignorance. What makes this coin terrifying is not only its value, but how easily it could have vanished forever. Unlike famous treasures locked in vaults or guarded by armies, this coin lived a fragile existence. It moved through uncertain hands, through political change, through decades when no one knew what it would become. At any moment, it could have been lost, melted, or forgotten, and many of its siblings were. By the early 1920s, South Africa stood at a crossroads. Gold had made the region globally important, yet political control rested with the British Empire. Currency reflected that reality. The portrait of King George V was not decoration, it was a declaration. Every coin reminded citizens who held power, but the 5 rand coin stood apart. It was too valuable, too strange, too limited to be normal money. Numismatic experts believe the coin may have been struck as a prestige piece, a symbolic object rather than a circulating currency. That alone changes everything. When an object is created without the intention of mass use, its destiny shifts. Scarcity becomes unavoidable, and scarcity, when combined with historical importance, creates something dangerous, explosive value. Over time, collectors began to understand what this coin truly represented. It was not just rare, it was isolated. Entire generations passed without seeing one. Even seasoned professionals could study coins for decades and never encounter a genuine 1920 5 rand. When rumors surfaced of one existing in private hands, disbelief followed, then urgency, then fear. Auction houses treat this coin differently. There is no casual listing, no public spectacle. Negotiations often happen quietly, behind closed doors. When prices are revealed, they stun even experienced observers. Millions of dollars for a single silver coin forces a reassessment of reality. It forces people to ask uncomfortable questions about how value is created. The answer is not metal content. The silver alone is almost irrelevant. The value lives in context. It lives in timing. It lives in what no longer exists. The political world that created the coin is gone. The conditions that allowed it to be struck are gone. The people who authorized it are gone. What remains is a survivor, and survivors command respect. Another layer of fear comes from forgery. When millions of dollars are at stake, deception follows. Counterfeits exist. Altered coins exist. Entire careers are built on detecting the smallest inconsistencies. Weight differences measured in fractions. Tool marks invisible to the naked eye. Die alignment variations that only expert recognize. This coin does not forgive mistakes. Collectors who own one live with constant anxiety. Storage must be perfect. Documentation must be flawless. Insurance must be absolute. One error, one doubt, one unanswered question can threaten millions of dollars. Ownership becomes responsibility, not pleasure. There is also psychological weight. Knowing that you possess something so rare creates isolation. You cannot display it freely. You cannot discuss it openly. Silence becomes protection. That silence mirrors the coin's own history, quiet and dangerous. What shocks new viewers most is the realization that value is not democratic. It does not care about fairness. It does not care about effort. It rewards timing, survival, and uniqueness. The 5 Rand coin did not become valuable because it was useful. It became valuable because it refused to disappear. As global wealth increases, competition intensifies. Ultra-rare coins like this become battlegrounds for elite collectors. When money loses trust, history gains power. A coin worth millions of dollars becomes a hedge against uncertainty. It becomes a physical anchor in a volatile world. This is why the story of the South African 1925 Rand coin continues to grow darker and more intense. Every year that passes without a new discovery tightens the noose. Supply remains frozen. Demand expands. Pressure builds. Somewhere, someone may still own one without fully understanding its importance. That thought alone keeps collectors awake at night. Not because it is likely, but because history has proven it possible. The final truth is uncomfortable. Value does not come from noise. It comes from silence, survival, and time. The South African 1925 Rand coin embodies all three. And that is why a simple piece of silver now commands millions of dollars. If this continuation deepened the shock, stay with the channel. Subscribe for more hidden histories that reshape reality. Like the video if it made you uncomfortable. Share it with someone who still believes value is obvious.